Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So, I think today is our last talk for this trip. So, maybe I will talk a little bit about the summary of our discussions. And also, as you are well aware, that we must think regularly about the points that we talked, the steps to the enlightenment. That we must think as many as possible. And also, whenever you get time, you give a thought on these points. That leaves a great imprint on your continuum, what we say, on your mind or on your continuum. So that is very important, because when you keep on doing that, then the imprint on your continuum becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. And for example, if you have a very thick, heavy imprint on these subjects, then, for example, next slide, if you hear those points, you immediately remember, and immediately you can feel it, and that would be very helpful for your further practice of Dhamma. So that is considered very important. If it is possible, of course, we should deeply involved in those points and those give thought on those points and then practice. But sometimes most of us, we don't have that much time to practice, on those every points. So then we try at least to make some imprints on these different points. So that is very important. So if you can pray, if you have learned to say some prayers, then you can say that. Otherwise also you can just count them in your mind, in your thought. If you count them and think of them, it will take just a few minutes a day, So you will be printing that on your mind every day. That would be very good thing to do. And it also can be very powerful because maybe even in this lifetime, if you keep on thinking on those points every day, then maybe within 2 years or 3 years, you will you will get realizations on some of those points. That will be a very good achievement for our practice. So that is important. And as we all know, that this time we met with the Buddha Dharma, with the Shakyamuni's teaching, and that is very fortunate. How fortunate we are, you must think again and again. If you don't realize we are fortunate to meet with this teaching, then you cannot be very serious. So to become serious about our fortune, then you must think, remind yourself. You must remind yourself again and again that I'm very fortunate this time. Then there will be aspiration to take benefit from that, from Buddha Dharma. And then you will look for how to take the benefit, how to take the advantage of this opportunity. You will find that. You will look for that. So then you will find how to take the advantage, and then your life will be very meaningful. Yeah, that is very important. And on the other hand, we also must pay attention that because we have a lot of attachment to this life. This life is all what we see. So we haven't seen our past lives, and we are not able to see our future lives. So what we see is only this life. So we are so attached to this life. So to think about impermanence is very important. So this is not to create fear within ourselves. You know, sometimes people, there are many people, they are saying, oh, the thing about death is creating problems within ourselves, you know. So it is not creating fear for ourselves, it is the fact that we should realize. So if we know it is a fact, and then you accept this fact, then we don't fear. The fear is no more there, you know. And then so we must try to reduce attachment to this life. To this life. So you should reduce attachment to this life doesn't mean that you shouldn't do anything for this life. Oh, you should do. We have to do our business or job or whatever. We have to look after ourselves. We have to look after our families. We have to look after our children. So there's no choice but to do it. But attachment, desirous attachment, that is a different thing. So we have to know about it and try to reduce this attachment. And then you will be happier. You will be, if you can get things done, you'll be happy. If you can't get things done, your attachment is not that strong. So there's not much problem. If you have strong attachment, kind of clinging to something, you know, I just want that. So strong desire to wanting. Then if you don't get it, you can be frustrated. Why was that?
Frustrated.
Yeah, so that one. Yeah. So you can get frustrated, right?
Upset.
Yeah. So there's no point. There's no point. So actually, Dharma means, Buddha Dharma means preparing for next life. So what we can do is from now onwards, that next life and next life and next life and next life, endless lives. We should prepare not to suffer. That is a big thing. That kind of attachment is good, okay. So we should develop that kind of attachment, at least if you can renounce the attachment towards samsara, that is very good. But if you can't do that, at least you want to have better lives and never take rebirth in bad lives. At least we must be prepared for that. That only can be done by the practice of Dhamma. So that is another point very important, and we have this opportunity, and we shouldn't lose this opportunity. So we must realize that we shouldn't lose this opportunity. And it is not that difficult. It is not that difficult if you know how to do it. So according to individual capacities, there are different practices. So you know your capacity. I don't know individual capacity. So according to your own capacity, how much you can do. Can you try for shamatha? Can you try for vipassana? Can you try to get the realization of emptiness? Can you try to generate bodhichitta? Yes, we can try. But do you believe that you can get it? That is difficult. Particularly if you are here, there's not many old people. But if you are like 80, 90 years old, then there's not much time left. So to generate bodhichitta is difficult because you have not enough time. But you can, of course, you can pray, you can develop the aspiration for bodhichitta and so forth. But the immediate thing is that you should try not fall in lower realms, isn't it? So if you are younger, of course, then we must do what? Deeper practice, kind of deeper practice, because we can get more result. So you should look for bigger result. So to get bigger result, you should look for deeper practice, more profound. Okay. Anyway, that is kind of summary that I wanted to share with you before I go through the text. So we must finish this chapter today. One chapter we cannot finish because then next year it will be difficult to find the chapter. Everybody forgets, you know. Too many verses. Okay, we will try to finish. Okay. So that is what I wanted to tell you, or I wanted to give some suggestions or advice. That's it. And then again we must cultivate our motivation at this time. The cultivation of motivation, that is, try to generate bodhichitta during this period. So even if we cannot generate real bodhichitta, we must try to generate an artificial bodhichitta. That is, you must imagine that I'm thinking in that way. I'm thinking in the way the Bodhi mind is, the way Bodhi mind is. Okay? So I want to be enlightened for the sake of all sentient beings. So for that, I want to practice Dhamma. For that, I would like to learn the Bodhisattva's way of life, and for that I'm going to listen to the teaching of the Acharaya Shantideva's guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life. Okay? So, last, you don't have to visit your mother? Last, what was, where were we?
Chapter 5.
Huh?
Oh, chapter 5.
Chapter 5.
No, this number.
Chapter 5, verse 15.
Which book?
15, okay. Although the development of merely a clear state
We
of
finished that, no?
that, we finish it,
Yeah,
right?
so we start with 16.
The knower of reality has said, okay, that even if recitation and physical hardships are practiced for long periods of time, they will be meaningless if the mind is distracted elsewhere. Please read out.
The other one.
Okay, verse 16.
Is
No.
it 16? Okay, the
Yes.
omniscient one
Yeah,
declared.
correct. The omniscient one declared that all recitation and austerity, even though performed over a long time, is completely useless if the mind is on something else or if doubt.
60. That's the one question.
So here, so if you are, as we just discussed, attachment. So if you, when there is attachment, then there is distraction, because you wish to get this thing, that thing, and then then you try to get that one, this one, that one. So that is the distraction follows. So if your mind is not concentrating on the point, then even if you recite mantras for many years, there will be not a big result. And then if you try to, what was that? I would prefer this one. The physical hardship. Physical hardship, if you take physical hardship, be in the cave and don't get enough food and try to practice, but if your mind is distracted towards the worldly things and so forth, then the result will be very little. So therefore, you should try to get the concentration power. I read this Tibetan version for oral transmission. The 17th, even those who wish to find happiness and overcome misery will render with no aim, no meaning, if they do not comprehend the secret of the mind, the paramount significance of Dhamma. Please read out.
Verse 17. Those who have not developed this mind, which is recondite and contains the whole sum of dhammas, wander the compass in vain trying to attain happiness and destroy suffering.
The secret of mind, because if you know how to concentrate on, our mind is always, it says our mind is like a monkey. It never stays in one place. It's jumping here, jumping there. It's like a monkey. So if you know how to concentrate, then you can control your mind. When you control your mind, then you can control everything. You can control all the elements within your body. When you can control all the elements in your body, then you can control all the external elements because they are related. So quantum physics, the quantum physics says the whole world is like web, web, spider web. So it is like this, and one corner is shaken, the whole web is shaken because it is related. It is not individual. It is not independent. It is all connected to the outer world and the inner world, our inside world. That is science. That is what science says. So this is scientific finding. They have found that it's like web. That is the secret, So if the world is damaged, for example, we are facing environmental problems. When we are facing environmental problems, our environment is contaminated. It affects sun, moon, other stars, because all are connected. So similarly, so in inner world and outer world also connected. So when you control your inner world, you can control outer world very easily. So then you can be liberated. That is the meaning of the secret of mind, right? What does it say? Secret of the mind, exactly. So that's it. Now, the this being so, I shall hold my mind well. Without the discipline of guarding the mind, what use are many other disciplines? Please read that out for me.
Verse 18, therefore I should manage and guard my mind well. If I let go of the vow to guard my mind, what will become of my many other vows?
That you understand, right? Now we go to the next verse. Just as I would be attentive and careful of a wound when amidst a bustling, uncontrolled crowd, so I should always guard the wound of my mind when dwelling among harmful people.
Okay, verse 19. In the same way that someone in the midst of a rough crowd guards a wound with great care, so in the midst of bad company should one always guard the wound that is the mind.
You understand? Right? So I can go to the next verse. Okay. And if I am careful of a wound, through fear of it being slightly hurt, then why do I not guard the wound of my mind through fear of being crushed by the mountains of hell? Please.
Okay. 20, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Fearing slight pain from a wound, I guard the wound with great care. Why not the wound that is the mind, in fear of the blows from the crushing mountains of hell?
Understood, right?
What would?
No, this wound, if you have a wound, then you will be very careful in the crowd, the big crowd that might hurt my wound, You're walking with the crowd, but still you will be very careful, like this. So if your wound is here, you cover it up and you try your best not to be touched and so forth. Similarly, you're in the society, you're in the crowd, always you guard your mind. What kind of thoughts is arising within yourself? Is it destructive emotion or constructive emotion? You must be mindful. And you must guard what kind of thoughts are coming in. So if destructive emotions are coming in, you should, even if you're in the party, big party, even if you're in big party, that inside you should guard what kind of thoughts are coming in. And then if destructive emotions are coming in, then you should suppress them. That is wood. Okay? Should I believe in such a way as this, then whether among humble people or even in the midst of women, the steady effort to control myself will not decline.
The resolute aspirant who maintains this attitude, even when moving in bad company, even amongst young and wanton women, is not broken.
Not?
Broken.
What is broken?
Even we are among young and wanton women, the attitude is not broken.
Attitude is not broken. Yes, the pledge is not broken, you know.
Correct.
Okay, this is 21, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So there's one thing, maybe some of you know already, but there are, you can find many kind of be careful about women and some kind of criticism about women. You can find in this book. So that doesn't mean that that is disrespect to the women. It doesn't mean that. You should know, because he was teaching in a monks' society. So, what do you call it? The assembly of celibate.
Yeah, a monastic.
Yes, the monastic. So he was. So you, because we have to protect our mind to get attracted to young girls, beautiful girls. That is the meaning. If he were speaking in a girl society, he definitely would have criticized the boys. So we must know that. Otherwise, there was a controversy also. Some Westerners, they thought, what is this? Criticizing women? Always defaming women? Well, some chapters you can find that. So they start to criticize. So that thing also, that thought also can come here in your thoughts also, you know. So it is because of that, if he was talking in a boys' assembly, then of course it would be the other way around. So that the women should know. And otherwise you understand, right? No? That is easy to understand. Let my possessions freely perish, my honor, my body and life. That is your power.
No.
That's her one.
Yeah, I know.
This one is 22.
22
Yeah.
It is better to be without a well, honor, body and livelihood, and it is better to let other virtues deteriorate rather than ever to let the mind decline.
Your turn.
Yep. 22. Let my possessions freely perish, my honor, my body and life, and let other good things perish, but never the mind.
Okay, understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. Samsung deka namla ni themba tani shishin da 탐진 베베 숭시제 나는 대들 테무 조르스. There's also
23.
thank you. Now, oh, you who wish to guard your minds, what is this? Beseech means
I beg you.
I beseech. Okay, you with folded hands always exert yourselves to guard mindfulness and alertness.
Verse 23. I make this salutation with my hands to those who wish to guard their mind. With all your effort, guard both mindfulness and awareness.
Okay. Okay. So it is very important to guard our thoughts. So let's you understand, right? Make it to be mitani lenam kulla two mega tishimope sendova lenam kulla two meadows. People who are disturbed by sickness have no strength to do anything. Likewise, those whose minds are disturbed by confusion have no strength to do anything.
Verse 24.
Yes, please.
Just as a man weak with illness is not fit for any work, so a mind distracted from this too is not fit for any work.
Right. So any spiritual work, that means any spiritual work, you cannot get done any, even if, as he already mentioned, that you were reciting mantras and prostrating hundreds of thousands of times, and you might be doing other many things, but if your mind is not controlled, then the result will be very small. Shishin maybe same day, turn something go by your no do. Kumbe Shushin Temalani Temines. Whatever has been learned, contemplated, and meditating vast